best for last here. You know, this is really an important part of our agenda. We wanted to find someone who's involved with what we're doing. And we look to Jay Bartkowski, businessman in the area. You know, he works with the region. I mean, he does. His business is involved. I know you all know what he does. He's in the distributorship, and so he's working in all parts of our region. And so I appreciate the fact that he was willing to come up here and have this conversation with you. Somebody needed to ask the question tonight: are we going to move this forward or not? And I'm going to let him talk about that because you all need to have this conversation.
I already ruined my first joke about saving the worst for last, but we'll pass on that. Thanks, guys. Great presentation. Intimidating to know you're a competition out there, but a great presentation nonetheless, and thanks for your guidance in coming up. We're hoping that we can learn from their experiences and voyage forward in our journey to success. But now the time has come in our presentation to ask if this initiative is something the community is willing to take on. By community, let's make sure we've defined it, and Sue did a great job of defining it for us. Community includes International Falls, it includes all of Coochin County. It also includes Ash River Trail, it also includes Captogama. So we're trying to encompass all of those groups. And we also talked about Fort Francis area, and that's an important group for us as well. So, will this work? That's the big question, and that's why hopefully you're all here tonight. It will take energy. It'll take commitment. It'll take a willingness to think a bit differently than we have in the past. It'll mean a change in attitude, a culture change, maybe a better way to put it. It'll mean setting aside some differences to make this community a better place. We're confident that we can succeed on this journey because we're no stranger to coming together in times of need. We just came together this spring, this summer. Everybody remembers the floods. It's not that long ago that we all came together and filled thousands of sandbags and helped out our community, helped out our neighbors, and showed the character that we really have up here. And we not only stacked them, but we took them down as well. And it just shows what type of community we do have when we put our minds to something, when we engage, and when we come together. This effort's no different. It may be a larger undertaking. It may take a heck of a lot longer. But it's about people coming together to make a difference. As a community, we come together for many events. We have the annual Christmas dinner that we do such a nice job at. Icebox days, the Bass Championship, the International Sturgeon Tournament, and a host of smaller celebrations, 4th of July, Independence Day in Big Falls, Independence Day in International Falls, county fairs in Little Fork and North Home, the International Tug of War with Fort Francis, Rainier Days. These don't happen based on a single person, although a lot of times a single person may be the driving force, but they become possible through community engagement. They happen because people get involved. The building, the facility we're presenting in here tonight is another great example, and I know Ward talked about it a little bit. Obviously, Ward's driving force has been part of the reason it's here, but Ward has a lot of people behind them, a lot of people in the community that have made it happen as well. In North Home, Coochin County Fair has been held there for over 100 years. Volunteers from Mizpah, Gemmel, Big Falls, North Home make that event work. And one thing I didn't know, and I suppose I can blame it on the fact that I wasn't here for 20 years, but the Star Tribune once selected the Coochin County Fair as one of the best fairs in Minnesota. And I did not know that. Thanks, Gary, for letting us know. Letting me know, anyway. Can we capitalize on the same sense of community and create certainty and hope for the region? I think we wouldn't be here if we didn't all think the answer was yes. There's no doubt the journey won't be easy. It'll be filled with potholes. It'll be filled with obstacles. Some we can control, some we can't. We all know we can't control our geography. We all know we can't control our weather. Yet at times, our weather and geography makes it that much more difficult to transport goods or receive some of the services that large population centers can take for granted. And everybody in the room has probably heard about wetlands and our challenges related to that. But you know what? We're all here. We adjust and we learn to live with those obstacles. And that's the one thing that does make us unique up here. You know, we could choose to live other places, but we choose to live here. There's challenges here, but we choose to be here. And that talks a lot about our character. And we would not live here if we ran from challenges. Is there a way we can overcome these obstacles and turn them into a competitive advantage? Some smart people have figured out ways to do it in Bemidji and Hermantown. And we believe the answer is yes for our community as well. Along with the potholes and obstacles that we cannot control, there are some self-imposed barriers we've created that can stifle our growth. Sometimes our attitude toward ourselves has made us a little less attractive destination, both in the eyes of our current residents and also in those visitors possibly looking to relocate. We get to hear a lot about disagreements that we have. We get to hear about disagreements between our local government, their agencies, the schools, healthcare providers, others in our community. This doesn't give a good impression of our area to either our locals or outsiders. In my opinion, we need to do better, and we can do better, and we will do better. In addition, we can't hold the disagreements we've had in the past forever. Since I've been back 7 years, here's some of the things I've heard in being out in our community. I won't stop at that store because they didn't change correctly 15 years ago. I won't join an organization because of a disagreement we had with their membership board 20 years ago. I won't support Rogers National Park because of differences over 40 years ago. If we're going to really be successful, we need to stop focusing on the past, stop focusing on the negatives, and start to focus on what we can do and the positives that we all have to offer. We need to focus on how to make this a better place. Do we make these decisions every day to support our local businesses? I hope the answer is yes, because we may not have many of them left if it's known. Sit back and take a few seconds to think about how many times in the past month you've heard someone have something negative to say about our community. Take the same time and think about in the past month, how many times have you heard someone say something positive about our community? Unfortunately, when I usually hear a lot more than negative than positive. Our attitude toward ourselves needs to change because we have to remove that barrier to our success. And it is something we can't control. And it was pointed out perfectly in our presentation earlier today. Based on what I've seen, Bemidji and Hermantown have stopped focusing on the negatives, have started focusing on what they can do better. And like I said before, these presentations show what others are doing. This is our competition. Appreciate the insights into what it takes to make a difference and to bring a community along. And it's intimidating to know that is our competition. I mean, imagine when we have Paul Nevin and John Mason, our city, our county, our city EDA, our county EDA, going against these people to try to win a presentation to win a company to come to their town. I think it reflects why we need to have a common vision. We need to have a plan. We need to be able to win that battle. Are we unified enough to tell ABC manufacturer, ABC service company, ABC retailer that this is our vision for our community? And is this what we want it to look like? And this is why you should be a part of it? Are we able to say this is why you should do it here and not in Bemidji, not in Hermantown, not in Duluth, not in Eden Prairie, which is where we lived, and all of the others that are vying for the same businesses, the same competition? We need to get to the point where we can have that united vision and make it a convincing argument that we're going to win. We can do this. 1983, I graduated from high school here. At that point, lived in a town in a county that was, my perception, vibrant, had a lot going on, a lot of energy. You know, maybe the decline in our county had started at that time, and maybe I was a little too young to notice it. Spent 20 years in the cities, and returned in 2007 to a city and a county that didn't feel the same as when I left. Population was down. Our enthusiasm and our passion just wasn't the same as it was. I'll admit I'm a little disappointed. The efforts in returning home haven't made a difference, and this is home, by the way. But I'm confident that the opportunity still exists if we come together and take control of our future. When we see what's being done in these other communities that aren't much different than ourselves, if we can set our collective minds to it, we can get it done up here. We are hardy, we are determined, we're up for the challenge. It takes that certain mental toughness to live here. Others don't have it. People in Eden Prairie laughed a week up here, they'd leave. They would. You guys do have that. You do have that persistence and that drive. Don't forget it. My friends talk about the opportunity to live up here and would love to do that, but there just is an opportunity for them to do that. We need to give our kids the opportunity to make that choice if they'd like. We need to take that strong will that's ingrained in every one of us and apply it to economic growth. I'm scanning the room to see if anybody from Eden Prairie is here, and I hope not. Yeah, other than my wife. Yeah. We can't passively hope that Boise is going to take care of us forever. We'll all be thrilled they're able to double their workforce through the forces of global economy and paper supply. They'd be thrilled with that as well. That would signal success for them. I know I feel good about the fact we have a lot of good people over there working as best they can to ensure that their future here will be bright and they'll have plenty of opportunity and plenty of growth. And we wish them the best. But we do need to take a more hands-on approach to what we have here. We need to diversify. We need to have something else we can rely on. I know a number of these things I'm talking about aren't new. You know, you guys, we've all talked about these things for years and years. But the stakes are a lot higher now. We need to change. In our long-term vision and strategy group, we've spent some time talking about the best ways to positively impact our community. We know there are people who care about our community as much as we do. Based on those who have helped out during the recent months of need, during the floods, those that took the time to respond to NPR's Chronicles of Our Journey and its series of articles entitled Rethinking a Company Town. We have business success going on, even in this difficult economic environment. Step Heinley continues to receive accolades for her work at Coffee Landing. Wagner Construction continues to have success, not only at a local but national level. Berkshire Wood Products continues to thrive. TrueStar continues its expansion while maintaining its home base here in the Falls. Rand Kona, Swanky Sweet Pea continue to grow and ship orders around the world, and we're happy to have her move back to town. And I'll apologize for all the businesses I didn't list. The point is we all want success. And the point is we need to take a little time sometimes to recognize we are having some success. They're building our community one job at a time, and we need to continue to do that. We need to be more focused and energized and content with some of the small victories we are having. You know, as I stand here, I've coached on the sport basically since we moved back, so I'll give you all a basketball analogy. And it didn't make sense to basketball guys either, but sometimes you just need to take the ball inside, take the fouls, make the free throws. We were successful at Ben Everson. You probably remember that, Tim. Not all the victories can come on the three-point shot. You know, translating that, our victories may not come with one 200-plus job opportunity. Rather, it may come with some 5, 10, or 20 job opportunities. It's okay for us to think big, but we may be most successful by executing the small, at least for a period of time. For those of you who are hoping that tonight's meeting had all the answers figured out, and that I was going to come up and tell you the one business or industry we needed to make all this work, well, we don't have that answer yet. As Randy's indicated in his discussion, we're working on engaging consultants to help us decide which economic activities are the best to generate growth and which companies we can possibly target. So we are working on that. While we don't know the answer, what I do know is the answer lies collectively within the efforts of each of you in this room and within our community. I believe collectively we can make a difference. Please participate in our voyage forward and help us create our future. We're asking you to take this journey to success and create our future to make this a better place. The success of our community and the future of our kids depends on what we do today. And I look forward to being part of the solution, and I hope each of you do as well. There are 3 ways you can help us to try to build a better Couchiching County, to build a better International Falls, to build a better Rainier, to build a better Island View, to build a better Big Falls, to build a better Little Fork, to build a better Birchdale, to build a better Ash River, to build a better Captogama. One of the ways you can help us is become a member of our team. We've got a few people doing a lot of work right now, and we probably need some help with our team. Second thing we would ask for is to become a steward, and I think that's been addressed tonight in a number of different topics, in a number of different speeches. Third, even if you do those first 2, I would hope that you would become a supportive community member, looking for the good and positive in our community, and supporting those trying to make this a better place. So, now is your opportunity to answer the question I asked at the beginning. Will this work for our community? Do we have anybody willing to answer that question?
Yes.
We have one yes. Hey, 1 out of 120. We're there. Honestly, I thought I'd get 0 out of 120, so 1's actually pretty good. Folks, we can do this. We have to work at it, and it's not going to be easy. But, you know, as I look at the people in the room, and you guys, this community has been through a lot. It's been through some struggles, it's been through some hard times, but it has made us better. And we just need to focus. I think if we focus, we can get it done. Any other comments to help us as we're going into our next meeting and kind of debriefing about the night and what was said? Is there anything else that anybody can add to help us going forward? Peter? Got nothing?
I was just stretching, but that's all right. That's one thing I've learned in a year and a half, 2 years. Give me a microphone, we could be here till 10 now. And I'm not one of the ones up, but this is against our process. We're supposed to be sitting in the background, but I think Jay's right. We all come together. We got to put some of our differences behind us. I've mentioned this before in the last year or so, but we have a good group of people here, and the people that aren't here, that if we do focus, have the intelligence, the knowledge, and the abilities, I think we can get through this, make International Falls, Couchiching County, and the surrounding areas much better place to live. Now, one of the reasons that I was behind our strategy of us just being the umbrella group is I'm a jailer, I'm a dispatcher. I don't have a lot of knowledge in these other things, business, other organizations like that, but there's a lot of people in town that do. And we need all the people of all different walks of life and experiences and knowledge to get this done. So if we all work hard, come together, look forward, I think we have a good chance of success here. So thank you for everybody that's here, that's helped before and in the future with this process. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate you bailing me out, by the way. Anybody else?
What's the plan beyond today, this meeting here, for making this a community effort, beyond the individual committees, which is great, and obviously they are part of the community and they represent us, but what is the plan for having the entire community engaged and hearing from everyone, including, of course, the thousands of people that are not here tonight?
There is a steward meeting upcoming on Wednesday, October 8th, which will be 5:30 here at Bacchus. And the steward group will help us decide what the next steps are. We've heard some ideas tonight about things to do. We've heard about surveys and how important surveys were in Hermantown. I don't know the answer. We want the stewards to help us with that answer. So the hope is we have enough interested people, enough passionate people, enough people with ideas to come and help us determine what the next steps will be, to engage the community, to find out what the community wants. And I wish it was more concrete than that.
Jay, if I could, one thing we always said to our folks, the world is run by those who show up and sit at the table. If you care and you want to have a voice, be here. Otherwise, don't complain. Because you all have the opportunity and the whole community will.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ward.
Well, just a quick observation here tonight. Our staff tells me we had 154 people in attendance tonight. I don't know if we announced that previously or not, but that's a fantastic turnout, I think, for an event like this, and I think a good first meeting and a good showing for the interest in helping things move ahead, Jay, and hopefully we'll get a lot of commitment out of this group tonight, too. Thanks for, Jay, too, thanks for that super talk you just gave. That was one of the best things I've heard anybody say in International Falls since we moved back here, too. So thanks.
Ward, the checks in the mail, first off.
I have something, Jay.
Second, will you quit cutting your grass for 2 weeks so your neighbor can have a shorter grass than you for once? That could be my reward. How about that?
Jay, I have one thing. When I was reading Jay's notes on what he was going to say, I said, I guarantee you're going to get a standing ovation. Can I get one of those, please? Come on. Go again.
I appreciate it, I do. It's not an easy topic, but we have to have these discussions, and we have to figure out how to make it a better place. So I want to try to help, and I'm glad that you're all here to do that also. Are there any other questions? I mean, we don't want to keep you here all night, but we can sure continue to discuss if you'd like.
Hi, I'm Bob Christensen. I think there's going to be a bigger struggle just because there's a lot of people that aren't here tonight. I think there's a lot of stuff that, a lot of rumors or whatever is being going on in the community, that whoever's going to be running this is going to have a hard time breaking through to other people in the community. It's been, I don't know, tough on everybody, but I mean, there's a lot of people here, but there's a lot of people that are not here either. So I'm optimistic. I want to see this community go forward. I've had 2 opportunities out of town. I left once, I came back. But I just think that, you know, there's going to have to be a lot of transparency. we want to get to change other people's minds. So,
Yeah, I think that's fair. I would agree. There's a lot of people not here, and all I can say is we have people that are here, and collectively we can change minds one at a time. That's what it takes. That's what we need to do. But that's how we'll have to attack that. Todd had a question of where we put our forms at the end of the night for people that do want to sign up. And we'd like you to put them on the tables. Is there a box over there to put them in? Okay. There's a box on each exit as you go out, so please put the forms in that box if you're interested in helping us out. Mike, is there another question, comment?
I have, you turn me down there well, thank you. I've been in this community for 20 years. I attended Bemidji State University for 3. I have seen organizations, clubs come together that everybody said it could not be done. What are you fighting for it for? What happens is you get that pessimistic side that doesn't want to or doesn't think it can happen. And once you plug through and the organizations grow, the ones that they told you couldn't start, when you see a bunch of kids or teenagers or college kids raise thousands of dollars to help an apartment that just burned down, then everybody jumps on board. The 154 here today is just going to be a small number of the people that will change their minds when they see that mountain move. So thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mike.
Hello. I have one comment on the job situation here. Is over the years I've been seeing that the community leaders a lot of times are looking for the big score, trying to get business in here that will employ 100, 200 people. But I believe that a bottoms-up approach would make more sense in the near term, where we try to foster businesses that are already here to grow. There are a lot of businesses in the community that I'm sure many of you don't even know about. One case in point, there's a nice little business just across the road from Green Tech. I don't know if many of you know, but Val Schlogum has a quilting and fabric printing business. She has very large format HP printers, a 12-foot wide automatic computer-driven quilting machine, and she's looking to expand her business. And she's been a bit frustrated by some of the red tape and things that are stumbling blocks for her, and she wants to move ahead. And there's other businesses like that. In fact, I've heard comments from many business leaders, business owners downtown. Many of, I know very personally because I went to school with them. They've made comments to me like they've never had a county commissioner or a council member come into their business and ask them any questions, or even, for that matter, even shop there. And I find that somewhat embarrassing. Mr. Benson said that, you know, as adults, we need to ask why. You need to walk around. I worked for a business, Hewlett Packard, many years ago. Bill and Dave had this process they called management by walking around, and need to do more of it. Need to ask questions. Now, if you want to go for the big score, there's possibly an opportunity coming up here with the high-tension power line corridor being proposed to go in by Littleport. Maybe something you need to look at in terms of encouraging a server farm to be put up near that corridor. Server farms use currently about 2% of the world's energy, a little more than that in the United States. They're massive Undertakings, a typical server farm is 50,000 square feet, uses about 5 megawatts of electricity. That's enough to power all the residential homes in International Falls, about 5,000 homes is what a typical server farm will take. And there might be an opportunity of bringing that in because a third of the energy used in the server farm is for cooling. Being at a cooler environment here, that could cut their costs down. That could be a real plus for them. In fact, they're looking at locating Google, Microsoft, and Facebook are looking to put server farms in Iceland. There's fiber optic cables being laid currently in the ocean from Iceland to North America and to Europe because they're looking at putting server farms in Iceland because they have abundant geothermal energy and natural cooling. We could possibly encourage them to look at something like that here.
And I think all those ideas are good, and we want to have a group in the community and our stewards basically consider those types of ideas. So, all of that's good. I'll step away. Thanks, everybody.
There's not much more I'm going to say after listening to Jay and some of the comments here tonight. You've got a form, back of your packet. It tells you, you know, again, it's a steward all about. It talks about our meeting coming up on October 8th. It's a couple of weeks away. Maybe you can't make it. Maybe you don't want to make that kind of commitment. But it's important for you to be the ambassador out in the community today going forward. So, what are there? 154 did the word say here tonight? 154 people. If you talk to 2 people tomorrow and say, you know, I was at this meeting last night, you know, the one we've been hearing about, and here's what I think. I think this is whatever. You tell them what you think. Is this the right thing? Is this the right time? Is it all the things that have been conveyed here by Jay and others? I hope it is. I mean, I've signed up to try and facilitate this, but I told you before, facilitating and making these decisions and bringing out that passion and energy, I can't do that. So, it's up to you. I hope people fill this out. I hope we have focus groups and we have surveys or whatever we decide to do going forward, that you're going to step up and let us know your thoughts about that. And if you have ideas, bring them forward. Get them to us. You know who these people are. They're all on these teams, and we all are working together on this. With that, I'm going to, again, remind you, fill it out and leave it. And everybody have a safe drive tonight. Thanks for sticking with us. Long meeting. Appreciate it.